Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You just landed on the page of your asset protector. I want to talk to you briefly about the importance of having a living will. So your last will and testament or your living will, you need to have those things. A living will dictate what happens while you're alive, basically your advanced healthcare directives. The last will and testament basically speaks to the people that you love and you care about as it relates to your things, your stuff and things, as I like to call them. So when, let's say you're just out driving your car, hell, let's just say you're at a concert and the roof falls in on the concert and ultimately you end up injured and in the hospital. Now you end up in a coma. And there's certain things that you want to have happening to you as it relates to your health and your health care. Tell me, do you have a system in place? Okay, I get it. You don't go to concerts. You're driving in your car and you are on the way out to dinner with your family. You get into an accident. It renders you hospitalized. Somehow you end up in a coma. Do you have an advanced directive in place? Do you have a healthcare power of attorney to speak to your healthcare needs? Have you ever heard that term called pull the plug? Pull the plug. Well, pulling the plug is just a term that we use that relates to ending all artificial life savings care. In other words, stop the oxygen, stop the feeding, stop the blood, stop all these things and let your body live independently just like we are now. You're not hooked up to anything. You're breathing, you're alert, and you're living on your own. But just in case you get into an accident or whatever the case might be, you have an adverse reaction to medication, you get shot, whatever the case might be, you just don't wake up and you're in a coma, anything can happen. Do you have that insurance in place? And I'm not talking about life insurance right now. It's important to have that too. Do you have health and care insurance? I'm not talking about health care insurance. I'm simply talking about, do you have a will in place? Do you have a living trust in place? Because anything can happen. We're not even talking about just dying and leaving your stuff. What about while you're still living? Who speaks to your healthcare needs on your behalf? Do you have a document in place? Okay, I talked to somebody recently and they said, I have a 19-year-old son. I said, well, let me ask you this question. I said, because you have to be 18 or older. He said, I could use my son. I said, but is your son intelligent enough to make that decision? Is your son strong enough to make the decision if you have a life-threatening illness? Are they strong enough to say, you know what, my dad wouldn't want to suffer, let's go ahead and pull this plug? Because once you pull that plug, you got to live with it. And nobody wants to be in that place that you have to pull the plug. I'll give you a story that as it relates to me. My brother was diagnosed with, renal failure. That's kidney disease. That got to the place that his kidney got cancer. So renal failure. And he was looking pretty bad. And we had gone to the hospital to see him the week before, and he was in bad situation, in a bad situation. He was in a coma. He didn't have these things in place. We were going to go back the following week because the doctor said there's nothing else that could be done. It was terminal, and he was dying, and it's just what it was, a matter of a few days. So what we decided to do was to take him from being miserable to help expedite the situation. And I'm glad that I didn't have to make that decision, and as well as my other family members. We were supposed to go on a Thursday to go ahead and do the action to stop life support on that Thursday. So On Wednesday, I got a phone call. My brother called me and told me that my brother had just passed away. On one hand, I was hurt, and on the other hand, I was relieved. And one thing about losing a brother or a family member or a child or a parent, that is very hurtful, and you kind of never get over it, really. You get stronger. You have good days. And then you have some days that is a challenge. But not having to deal with that is one less nail in my own coffin, if you know what I mean. So by us not having to make that decision, but we were going to have to make that decision. And that would have been a decision we had to live with for the rest of our lives. Well, my brother, he wasn't thinking about that at the time. And since then, I began to educate my family and educate everyone that I come in contact with. I do it on social media. I do it with people that I come in contact with in passing. I do it with people that I hang out with, my family and friends. Because a lot of times we're not thinking about things like that. But when it hits home, then we can better understand and rationalize how it impacts a family. See, pulling that plug situation, my brother was going to be going on to the grave, but us have to deal with that once he's gone. And guys, I know you don't want to talk about these things. Women are a little bit more receptive. They're more inclined to have these conversations. Guys, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. I'll deal with that later. And sometimes later comes soon, much sooner than you think. So you want to be prepared. You have insurance on your car, but you don't have assurance on yourself. You don't have assurance on your family. You don't have assurance that dictates what happens to you if you're in a coma. You got insurance on your iPhone or your whatever kind of phone. You have Android. You have insurance on your automobiles and your things. And some of you don't even have insurance on yourselves. Health insurance or life insurance. I just don't get it. You say you love yourself and you're out here balling. You got these cars and you got the jewelry. You're showing up on Facebook and Instagram and you look like you got your shit together, but you really don't. You don't have your shit together, and it's time to have a change. Now, I know I said shit. I said words worse than that all the time, but I just want to make sure that you understand the gravity of this. Prince, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Angie Stone, all these people were millionaires. And they left this world too soon, and they didn't have their shit together. They did not have a will. Now, you have to ask yourself this question: how can you be a person that's worth millions and you don't even have a will? Now, some might take this negatively. I don't care. I'm just telling you the truth. And if you don't like the truth, then you just take that up with the truth, because this is not my truth. My truth is I want you to be taken care of. I want you to take care of your family, and don't leave your family back here struggling. Don't leave your family sitting here trying to make a GoFundMe and all of that crazy stuff while you out balling and looking like you living. Some of y'all got wads of money holding up to your ear like a phone. Like a fool. You're holding it up to your ear like it's a phone. Like a fool. Because people that's got money, they smart enough to put their money in some type of vehicle so the money can work for them. You go out and you work like a slave for your money, and then you take your money, you walk around and take pictures and make bad decisions, and then when you get older, you standing up in Walmart saying, "Let me see your receipt," and using a marker. And on your feet with gout, bad back, arthritis and everything. And I'm not talking down on nobody. I'm just simply saying that when you don't sow seeds, then your reaping of a harvest is not going to be a good harvest. And you can get upset with me because of what I'm saying, that's fine. But this is something that's going to that's going to give you a sight picture that's going to cause you to create some sense of urgency in your life and stop just waiting around for God to do it. God gives you the measures, the tools, the knowledge. He gives you access to the people to help you do that. He gives you me that's telling you now, stop playing around and do it. If you're already in your 40s, you getting on up there. If you're 50 years old, you pretty much aged out. If you're 60 years old, you know, you're very late to the party. If you're 70 years old, you're running out of time. If you're 80, forget it. And I talk to clients all the time. I need life insurance. I'm 80 years old. Well, who's going to insure you? Because the insurance company is looking at you like this. Who's more likely to die first? A 20-year-old or 80-year-old? So you get insurance and you get a $100,000 policy and you've been paying on the policy for 6 months and you've been paying $200 per month for the policy. That's $1,200 on a $100,000 policy. Ask yourself, does that make sense to you? Insurance companies don't go in business because they are stupid. They go in business to make money. And insurance is one of the biggest crooks it is out there. And you must understand that. So it's best to get your insurance while you're young. Why? Before you get a diagnosis. When you get 30 and 40 years old, your mama died from some type of illness, more than likely that illness is lurking over your head too. And you may end up dying from something similar to that. So I caution you to begin to monitor yourself as far as that. Again, you know me, I have this thing where I go off on my soapbox. I'm not trying to do this in any type of way to be mean or anything like that, but death is cruel. Comas are cruel. It ain't nothing easy about being in the funeral home. It's cold and it's cruel. So ain't no need for me walking around here on eggshells to make you feel good because you don't have your shit together. All I'm simply saying is this. Black folks, it's time for us to leave a legacy to our family. There was a song that they used to sing when I was a child. Papa was a rolling stone, and the only thing, and when he died, the only thing he left us was alone. Don't just leave your family alone. It's time for us to begin to build and pour into the community. You're looking at what Bill Gates Foundation and his family is doing. You're looking at George Bush 1, George Bush 2, and the others Bush. You're looking at the Reagan family, right? You're looking at all these different families. Rockefellers. You're looking at all these families, but our people, especially our rich family members, you becoming celebrities and stuff, and you're balling out. But then you leave, and you're leaving nothing. And it costs a lot of money, a lot of headache, a lot of turmoil for families to get through this stuff. And if you're listening and you're still listening to this video, watching this video, then that means that this must be touching to you. Speak to your family members. Speak to your spouse. And let this speak to yourself so that you can become that change. You be that first person in your family to go out and establish that trust. Be the change that you want to see in your family. And it has to start from someplace. The things that's going on in the government right now, they're shutting down jobs, firing folks, and all that stuff. Black people are going crazy and up in arms over this DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which we haven't been getting much of it anyway, and we've been struggling anyway, and we used to not having no handouts and nobody giving us anyway. Don't get caught up in that monotony. Don't get caught up in all these little small things, P. Diddy and all that stuff that's going on in the media, Jay-Z. Don't get caught up into that stuff. Get caught up into making sure that you have your things in order, making sure that your family is taken care of, and that you're creating generational wealth, starting somewhere. Starting somewhere, and I'm going to tell you the formula right now. Some of you say, well, I don't have no money, I'm just paying bills. Then what you become is a slave to your bills. Your bills are behind anyway. Here's what you do the next time you get paid. Pull a little bit of that money off the top, and that's my money, because you're the one working for it. Pay yourself. That's the first thing you need to do. Pay yourself. 2 rules. Rule number 1, pay yourself first. Okay? Rule number 2, Invest that money in a way that that money can grow. It can multiply. Whether you buy a little bit of stock, right now you can buy penny stock. You don't have $1,000 to put in, you can put $20 in it. You can buy cryptocurrency or whatever. Take the chance and invest your money. Drink less beer, party less, because you got to pay to go in the club. Then you got to pay to, some of y'all like to get these bottles. Don't do that. Drink at home, right? Drink at home. And then have your family and friends to get together and socialize. And that money, you can save $300 or $400, some of you $1,000 per month. And if you go to strip clubs and you making it rain, you're throwing away money like a fool to somebody who don't give a damn about you. That same woman in the club that's all over you and everybody sprayed it. I never liked that strip club stuff. It's cute and all. But she owned you, wiggling her tail on you, and then she owned me, wiggling her tail on me, and all of us are juicing in the front, you know what I mean? And putting that juice on her, and she transferring it, it's just nasty. And it was fun when I was out there doing it, I get it, but now I'm wiser, and my goal is to help you to it. It's foolish. But that same woman, when she finished grinding on you, and then you see her in the mall and say, hello, beautiful, get out of my face. She ain't even going to speak to you. Invest your money in a way that is going to help you become a better you. Again, I got off of my soapbox. I didn't mean it, but I believe that somebody needed to hear this information. Most of these videos, I'm going off script and I'm speaking from my heart. Some of them I do by script, but most of these videos I do directly from my heart, and sometimes it can go left or right, either way. But at the end of the day, I know that whatever I'm saying to me is right because I've researched it. I'm looking at the community. I see where there's a need, and it's time for us to begin to step up and have wise spending habits, okay? Keeping the money inside of our community. Buying from black folks. Don't just always dog what black folks out and go spend the money with the white folks, because at the end, they don't give two shits about you and me, and they ain't gonna put nothing in the neighborhood. And for real, they doing everything they can to destroy me and you. So we have to begin to embrace ourselves and get back to blackness and begin to build ourselves up and begin laying the foundation towards growth. It doesn't have to be a Black Wall Street. We just need to make sure that we are building ourselves up as a community and as a people, and we have the right to exercise that, okay? With that being said, that's pretty much my time on this video. I could go another hour about this because this is a very passionate topic that I'm discussing here, but that's all of my time. I thank you for your time. Take good care of yourselves. Make sure that your family are okay. I look forward to sharing with you on the next video. Bye for now.